Welcome to The Know, I'm Ashley Jenkins. EA and DICE gave a behind-closed-doors demo of Battlefront 2 this weekend, and details from that are finally making their way onto the web, revealing some additional gameplay features we didn't get in the trailers and panels from Star Wars Celebration. According to YouTuber Westy, heroes are no longer available as pickup items, which was a huge criticism from the first game. DICE wasn't clear at the demonstration just what would replace hero pickups, but they did indicate you'd be able to spawn into heroes as well as vehicles. The company also talked about customization, progression, and combat depth, saying that all those features will be much more robust this time around. Xbox gamers are about to get a couple of new options and features based on some clues from the Xbox Insider program. First up, it looks like custom gamer pictures might be on the way. Xbox's Major Nelson posted a recent status update of his new custom avatar, which was the Scorpio chip, by the way, saying that it would soon be hitting for Xbox Insiders. So basically, Microsoft is testing custom dick-guitars, because that's what's gonna happen. But more exciting than dick-guitars is the news that the alpha for Microsoft's anticipated Xbox Game Pass is wrapping up next week, meaning it will go live very soon. Microsoft sent out a message this week saying that Xbox Game Pass will be rolling out later this spring. We'll be interested to hear how the affordable streaming service with unlimited play lands with gamers out there. Definitely has the potential to be a game changer for the console as long as people are into it, but some of those things you can't predict how they're actually gonna land with an audience. It sounds good on paper though. After a week of teasing their new project, Bandai Namco has officially revealed Code Vein along with the game's first details. Yeah, we got some details out of Famitsu earlier this week, but hey, this is straight from the horse's mouth. And according to Bandai Namco, Code Vein will be a massive interconnected world where you feast on your enemies, which sounds cheery. The game plays out in a post-apocalyptic world filled with monsters where the Revenant, vampires who trade their memories for power, hunt down monsters in cooperative dungeons and change forms against Souls-like enemies and bosses. The game is being built in Unreal Engine 4, as was reported by Famitsu earlier this week. Code Vein scheduled for launch in 2018 on major home consoles, but no specific announcements about that just yet. It's been years since we've had an update about Assassin's Creed creator Patrice Déliette's next game, but he finally delivered. Déliette's studio, Panache Digital, revealed a new teaser for their game Ancestors: The Humankind Odyssey at a conference in Croatia this week, along with some new details about the project. The third-person action game, which chronicles the development of mankind throughout ages and is set 2 to 10 million years ago, will no longer be episodic as was previously announced, but will instead be a full release. Ancestors is currently playable, but it's a long way off from release, according to Déliette. As for how it plays and what you do, that part's a little bit less clear. It apparently has civilization building skill trees, resource management, action, but as of now, we don't know what the conflict is, aside from, I assume, survival. So this one's kind of a head scratcher, but it's coming, it's not vaporware, not yet. Chinese gaming giant Tencent made headlines earlier this week with the announcement of their digital gaming platform, WeGame, which they rebranded from Tencent Games Platform. Admittedly, WeGame is significant improvement over that. Well, today, Tencent held a formal event where they talked more about the Chinese platform and even made some pretty major announcements. For starters, they've nabbed exclusivity rights for a handful of games like Rocket League, Paladins, and Paragon in China, meaning those games are no longer available on Steam in that country. As we discussed in a story about Tencent earlier this week, they currently have more people playing their games even than Steam has active users. Yeah, it's regionalized, but they got a lot of people. So WeGame and its success in China seems like something to keep an eye on. We'll see how many more exclusives they can steal from Steam in the future, because that could tip the balance for them a bit. Turns out a lot of gamers are going digital in the US, if you didn't know. Digital sales accounted for nearly 3 times as much as physical revenue in the States last year, according to a report from the Entertainment Software Association. GameSpot reported that the NPD figures showed 74% of sales in the US came from subscriptions, digital full games, digital add-on content, mobile apps, and social network games. Meanwhile, physical titles only accounted for about 26%. Meanwhile, in the UK, it's a much more even split still. Physical copies made up almost 50% of all gaming revenue, according to GamesIndustry.biz. Now, we've seen this trend happening for a while now. Digital has been rising every year since 2010. It's practically impossible to find a physical version of a PC game these days, and these latest numbers are probably music to the ears of publishers who make more money off of digital sales than physical. Reviews are starting to come in for the newest Warhammer 40k game, Dawn of War 3, and they're looking pretty good so far. The sequel to 2009's Dawn of War 2 has an 82 score on Metacritic, with reviewers generally praising the real-time strategy PC game. GameSpot gave it an 8 out of 10, saying Dawn of War 3 builds and maintains an organic tension that yields huge payoffs, and there's nothing else quite like it. Dawn of War 3 is going to be out on PC April 27th, so not long to wait if you're a fan of that one. After the success of the live-action version of Beauty and the Beast, not to mention before that Jungle Book, Maleficent, Cinderella, Disney's got a lot more remakes of cartoon classics in development. One of them is Aladdin, and Deadline reports that Will Smith is in talks to play the genie that was played by Robin Williams in the animated movie. Well, the first one anyway. The movie will be directed by Guy Ritchie, who was responsible for the Sherlock Holmes films, as well as really bright, shining movies like Snatch. Prior to Aladdin, Will Smith was reportedly in talks to appear in a live-action remake of Dumbo, but apparently that didn't pan out. Yeah, I think the genie would probably be a better fit. Also, R.I.P. Robin Williams. I don't think that role will never be the same. It's gonna be like the Disney version of trying to follow Heath Ledger's Joker. The upcoming Captain Marvel movie has a director, actually make that directors with an S. Variety reports that the movie will be directed by Anna Boden and Ryan Fleck, who are known for dramas like Half Nelson with Ryan Gosling and Mississippi Grind with Ryan Reynolds. The movie will follow the adventures of Air Force pilot Carol Danvers, played by Brie Larson, whose DNA is fused with an alien after an accident. The fusing leaves her with the powers of super strength, flight, and energy projection, so there are worse things that can happen to you, I guess, if you get in an accident with aliens. The movie's set to hit theaters in 2019. Should be pretty good. Those two are a very well-known team. They're known for working very, very closely together. So pretty cool that we finally got the director on that one. Now, it looks like the long-awaited TV series based on the Wheel of Time novels is finally getting off the ground. IGN reports that Rafe Judkins has been named the series showrunner, executive producer, and writer. Judkins is a fan of the books, and he previously wrote and produced episodes of Marvel's Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. The adaptation is being produced by Red Eagle Entertainment and Radar Pictures, and Sony Pictures Television will be the producing studio. If you're not familiar with the Wheel of Time books, it's a series of 14 fantasy novels that were written by Robert Jordan starting in 1990. Author Brandon Sanderson took over duties after Jordan passed away in 2007 and finished the series. Jordan's widow, Harriet McDougall, who also edited the novels, will serve as consulting producer for the show. No release date's been set just yet, and IGN says the series still needs to secure a network for distribution. Since it's Wheel of Time, we're gonna assume that one entire season is gonna be devoted entirely to characters sniffing, tugging their braids, and adjusting shawls. If you read the books, that joke is really funny. Okay, mildly funny, but we're gonna own it a little bit when we're not making excuses for it. That's all the news we have for you guys today. Let us know what you think of all these stories down in the comments below. Make sure you like this video so that you see all of our news updates in your feed. And if you're new around here, subscribe to The Know and we'll news you every day. After a week of testing their new project, teasing, as we discussed in the story about, reviews are starting to come in for the newest Warhammer 40k? Okay. The upcoming Captain Marvel movie. Eagle Entertainment and Radar Pictures and Sony Pictures Television will be producing